Hi students, I'm Una.
And I'm Scott.
I'm a PTE teacher from the UK.
I'm also a PTE teacher from the UK.
And we've been helping students pass their exams for years.
And now we're excited to help you pass your exam too.
Welcome to the Swoosh English PTE podcast.
Let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to Swoosh English's podcast on the PTE examination. I'm Scott.
And I'm Una.
And we welcome you to our podcast today. So Una, what are we talking about in terms of our podcast content today?
Yes, so today we're looking at the reading section of the PTE exam, and we're looking at the task multiple choice, choose single answer. Scott.
Multiple choice, choose single answer. Not to be confused with the other type of multiple choice task, which is multiple choice, choose multiple answer.
Exactly, yes. Multiple choice, choose multiple answer, where of course you are choosing more than one answer. Here you're only choosing one from the variety of answer options that you have.
Okay, now that that's clear, you have no excuses if you manage to do this entire podcast completely wrong with the information that you get.
No, it's multiple choice, choose single answer.
So multiple choice, choose single answer for the reading section. It is quite similar to other academic tests in terms of what you have to do, but we're going to go through some information which is specific to the PTE examination now.
Yes.
So first and foremost, when we're doing multiple choice single answer, there is a chunk of text that you have to read and analyze and do your answers from. How long is that text, Una?
That text is up to 300 words. So it is one of the longer prompts within the reading section. It could be up to 300 words.
Think of it reading a write essay task that you might have done.
Yeah.
So in terms of the length. So fairly long and quite comprehensive. How many of the multiple choice single answer prompts will you have on the day of the exam?
So this varies, of course, but I have seen usually 4 to about 6. Yeah, you could possibly get 6. But
you mean the questions?
Yes, the answer options.
The answer
within
options.
The answer options,
Yes.
Oh, yes. So the answer options could be between 4 to 6. And then when it comes to the actual overall question itself, as I think you were referring to, it's, is it 2 to 3?
Yes, 2 to 3.
2 to 3. 2 to 3 different questions for multiple choice, choose single answer.
Yes, so just to recap, 2 to 3 of these prompts you'll have on the day of the examination. So you'll have to do this prompt times 2 to 3 times. So there'll be a variety of different types of questions you'll also have on that. And Una was also saying there, you will have up to 6 different potential answer options, but more commonly it'll be about 4 to 5 as we've seen. But
usually say 4 to 5.
Just be prepared for the variety of these tasks.
Very good.
So in terms of the amount of time that you have for each individual prompt for multiple choice, choose single answer, how much time would you recommend people spend on each prompt?
So, of course, within the reading section, it's not individually timed. You're having to make the decision yourself to stop and really use your time management skills in order to divide your time within all those tasks. But for multiple choice single answer, it's not heavily weighted. This is a task where, you're correct or incorrect when you choose that answer. There is no negative marking. So I recommend 1.5, 2 minutes maximum, but really try and keep it down even to 1.5. What do you think, Scott?
I would say the exact same thing. Obviously, if you're going to divide every reading section individually and weigh it up in terms of time, then each task you're looking between 2, maybe 2.5 minutes in terms of time. But as Una said, this task isn't weighed as heavily as others, so you actually could do it in a quicker capacity, and therefore keeping extra time for the tasks that you may find more difficult or also have more points in terms of the weighing.
Exactly. So for example, even multiple choice, multiple answer, because you're having to confirm more than one answer, you may need a little bit more time for that.
It is a slightly trickier task, I would argue, than this one again. So we'll say 1.5, but maximum of 2 minutes per task.
Very good.
All right, here is the essential question. Are you ready for it? This is very, very important.
What's that question?
How many answers do you choose for multiple choice single answer?
A single answer, Scott. One answer, okay? So don't get it confused. Yes, like you said, with multiple choice, multiple answer.
Thanks for telling me now I will not answer more than one single answer.
Yeah.
So our takeaway is that, yes, there are 2 types of multiple choice questions in PTE reading. Just make sure you are aware about which one you are doing.
Yeah, read that question properly. It will say choose only one answer is correct, or for multiple choice, choose multiple answer, choose more than one answer. So just read that carefully.
Now, it might be like teaching you how to suck eggs or lemons, whatever the idiom is. It's varied.
I am not familiar with this idiom.
But anyway, the point is that when you're under stress, the stress and the pressure of the day, you could overlook simple things like doing the question completely wrong. You might think it's a multiple choice, multiple answer prompt, and you choose more than one answer. You're unfortunately not going to get any points if you choose more than one answer, even if the one you chose was correct. So it's very important that you're aware of what to do. Okay, so Una, we went into some scoring. Let's just obviously recapping that there. As we said, one answer only. The answer is either correct or incorrect.
Yes.
So it's incorrect if you choose the incorrect answer. It's incorrect if you don't choose any answer at all.
Yes.
And also, as you mentioned, that there is no negative marking for this task as
marking.
well. So what would you recommend you do in this task? No negative marking, incorrect if you don't answer?
Well, yes, you can just guess then. So with no negative marking tasks, if you're really unsure, you really can't come to a conclusion that you're confident about, well, then make a guess and move on.
So it's very important that you do answer every single question. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
even if you're completely clueless to what the answer is.
You have nothing to lose, so take a guess. That is different, like we'll get into perhaps next week, with multiple choice, multiple answer, where there is negative marking and you will not be making guesses. But with single answer, we can afford to make a guess.
That's very important. Okay, so shall we now move on to the different types of questions and prompts that you might get as part of PTE multiple choice single answer?
Yes.
So there won't be any single type of question you can get. If that was the case, obviously you can get very rhythmic and into rhythm of answering this quite easily. We're just going to go through the different types of questions that you can get.
Yeah. So it could refer to asking you about true or false information. So is something correct? Which of these statements is correct? Which of these statements is false, for example? And in that kind of task, you're simply going to be going over to the reading and verifying the different information and which one is correct.
So it's important that obviously you are aware of the different type of wording, which are essentially the same question. As Uda mentioned, you might have which statement is true, which statement is false, which statement is correct, which statement is incorrect, which statement is supported, which statement is not supported.
Supported and not supported.
So it might be actually referencing something specific, or it might be referring something quite vague in the question type. So that's just simply find the correct answer or find the incorrect answer.
Yes.
But the important thing is that it will be supported with information from the text, but we'll go into more information about that. We also have then our main theme or idea style question. So when I want to talk to our audience a bit more about that task.
Yeah, so that's when the question is asking you, what is the overall main idea or main theme of the text? Or something along similar lines of this can be the summarizing of which best summarizes the text. Yeah. So that's very similar, in looking for the main idea or the summary of the overall text, which is, of course, going to refer to the main idea.
Yeah. So your answers are there. You have to choose the answer that just best fits what you believe is the main theme or idea.
Or gist.
That's being expressed, the gist of the topic. So you have 4 options you choose based on your own reading. You also then will have possibly a writer's opinion style question. So it's a bit different to the main theme because, in a few ways. One, you're looking obviously for opinionative language, something that's being expressed by the writer in terms of like their ideas that's being conveyed. It might be directly referenced in terms of being paraphrased, or it might be included in the body of the text otherwise. Yeah. So you might have that style of question as well.
Going to be looking for specific type of language for that.
And there's one more style of question that maybe you want to go through.
Implied. So whenever, which statement can be implied from the text? Yeah. So something where it's not maybe explicitly said, but we can infer or imply from it that one of these statements is correct based on the text.
And that can be quite tricky. Obviously, understanding an implication versus something that's supported with concrete evidence. But that question obviously can be there as well.
Yeah, and we can get lots of practice looking for these implications.
There will be language which suggests an implication in the text itself.
Hi all. We're going to grab a quick cup of coffee. While we're gone, go to pte.swishenglish.com and grab your free PTE starter course. A gift to get you started on your PTE preparation. That's pte.swishenglish.com for your free PTE starter course.
Okay, so that's the different types of questions you might get. Now let's start into our method for this task.
Okay, so yes, our method for this task, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to look at that question. So it's very important that you don't straight away start reading the text. Why do you think that is the case?
Well, first and foremost, how long is the text? 300 words. I don't know how quickly you can understandably and comprehensively read a 300-word text. I would like to think that it would take us several minutes. Do you have several minutes to do each task?
No.
Unfortunately not. So time is very, very precious in this task. So you want to ensure that you're using that time very wisely. So you don't have enough time to read that text overall to begin with.
Before the questions, yes. If you do that, you're going to be going straight into it in the dark. You know, you're reading that text, but you don't know from what perspective you're supposed to be reading it from, you know, what the question is asking you.
Precisely.
What kind of information you're going to be looking for, what kind of keywords. So it's very important. Don't start reading that text first. It's a waste of time and basically a useless exercise. So first of all, the first thing you should do is look at the question. Like we just discussed, the different types of questions like implication, true, false information, main idea. What is the question asking you to do?
Yes. So if you're able to focus on what the question is, then you're obviously aware of what you have to do next, and you make your time a lot more efficient that way.
Exactly. Yes. More efficient. That's what it's all about. Using your time efficiently.
So what is that question? You've analyzed that. What's the next thing we would then do?
And then you're going to look at the answer options. So skim those answer options. And first of all, the first thing that's going to do is give you an overall idea of what the topic is. Reading those answer options will show you what the gist and what the main idea of the topic you're about to read is.
Exactly.
And maybe different vocabulary will start to flow into your head about that topic and you'll be ready.
Precisely,
more
because even though some of the answer options are obviously incorrect in terms of what the question's asking, the four answers are still alluding to an overall theme or topic, so you can still get ideas.
They're along
from
the same lines.
Yes, they're along the same lines. So
so skim the question or skim the answer options, and then you're going to scan them looking for the keywords.
Yeah, so keywords, we mean by that obviously is the key information in a sentence. You're looking for the information which pieces together most of the meaning. So you're obviously looking for any names that are being referenced, any places that are being referenced, events, numbers, statistics.
Key verbs.
Yeah, and then you're obviously going to go into your word types as well. So your nouns and your verbs are especially important, but obviously look for your adjectives and adverbs, etc. as well.
They can be useful. Yes, your content words. The content words.
As well as any words which actually denote a relationship between any ideas as well, because that's important as well.
Good idea, yes.
So your key content words need to be, so obviously you can highlight them, you can make a note of them. Make sure you're aware of what they are in terms of that general question. Yeah,
they're going to be very useful to you when you now move on to the next step, which is going over to the reading. So you've analyzed the question, you've skimmed and scanned for your keywords and the answer options, you have a good idea of the kind of information that you're looking for in the text. So then you go over and start looking at the reading. Start trying to validate one answer or eliminate the rest of the answers.
Yes. So how would you go about that task, Una? What would you do? So you've highlighted your question. You're aware of what the question's asking you. You've read over your answer options. You then have an idea of the gist from that, and you've highlighted your keywords. So now you're aware about what you're going to search for. So how would you then approach each individual question prompt with the text?
So are you thinking about the different questions, for example, true, false information, or are you thinking about the answer options?
Yeah, your answer options. So now you go on to actually complete this text.
Yeah, so go and look for those keywords. So if the keywords that you have highlighted come up in the text, you're going to pay more attention perhaps to that sentence. So the most important tip here is to not just see a keyword and then think, oh, that must mean that it's correct. This keyword is here, that keyword is in the writing. No, you need to make sure that you look overall at the key point as well and read really the context of that sentence.
The idea and the context.
Yeah, so does it match exactly that point? So in order to understand the context of the sentence, you need to read around it as well and really make sure that that is true, what is being said.
And of course, understand the ideas and relationships that come as well. So will you always or even often find the words in the question options in the text?
Yes, a lot of the time you will see the words that are in the answer options within the text. But another point is that sometimes the words that are in the keyword answer options are simply synonyms.
Yeah, they're paraphrased.
So they've paraphrased the word. It might mean the same thing, but they've tried to make it a bit more difficult, distracting you by including synonyms in the answer options.
So the sentence might even be completely reformulated, but the words and key meaning is there. The word might be paraphrased. There might be a synonym there, but essentially the sentence means the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's important to be aware of that. You're not going to necessarily find the information, but draw upon your own knowledge of English and ideas and just reference it in that way.
Yes. So looking out for synonyms and making sure that you read around the sentence as well and not just thinking, oh, I got the word, that must be the correct answer.
For example, you might see blah, 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 blah in one text, but then you read the next sentence and there's something that completely refutes that. It's like, okay, so you need to read around that sentence as well. Once again, you're
Yes.
not focusing on the individual words. You're focusing obviously on the relationship and the context of that idea that is being expressed.
Yes.
So it's very, very
And
important.
as you're reading through it, definitely try and, eliminate different answer options as you're going through it. Because then you're really narrowing it down. For example, you eliminate 2 answers out of 4, then you've only got like 2 to really validate. So that will really assist you.
It will also make your time more important as well, because even though obviously we recommend that you do eliminate answer options, there's still not a lot of time for this task. So if you can do that simultaneously, obviously referencing between the text and the answer options, all of them at the same time, you can find the correct answer on one hand, but also maybe find the incorrect answers, because you want to find that text in there, that textual evidence which either supports an answer or completely refutes it.
Exactly. Shows why one answer is not correct, for example.
Okay. So that, of course, then you've gone through all your answer options, and then you've hopefully found your correct answer, eliminate your incorrect answer. Then, if you time permits, read them again, make sure that you've carefully selected the answer options, and then move on. But remember, you need to be spending about 90 seconds to 2 minutes on this task.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, isn't it, to really fit in an efficient review process for that one. So really, decide your answer as best you can as you're going through, and move on and click next.
Exactly.
I would say.
Before we move on to some more information, I just want to go through a little bit briefly on the parts of the text where you will likely find the evidence that you need for the individual answer options. So we have obviously the true, false, support, not support statements. Unfortunately for that task, the information will be throughout the text. There could be a random sentence here or here and here, but the evidence will be throughout. So therefore, it's important for you to skim and scan the answer options to find that text. What about the main idea or theme question? Where would be the most likely and logical places to look for your answer for that question?
Yeah, so straight away you could go to the topic sentence. A topic sentence is always going to introduce the main idea or the overall topic or gist of the paragraph. So look at the first sentence of it. That's going to be a good clue as to what the main idea is. But then you can go to perhaps, there have been times where it's 2 paragraphs for choose multiple choice, choose single answer.
Yeah, of course.
So, you can look at both topic sentences. Then your concluding sentences are going to be really important in helping you to come up with the main idea.
Because that obviously paraphrases often what the introductory topic sentence will be. Yeah. So that the information could be reworded there, or you might even find an extra statistic that has been included. So just to recap, main theme or idea, topic sentence, the beginning of each paragraph, especially the first paragraph, as well as the conclusion.
They will give you good clues, but I wouldn't solely rely on them. Make sure that you verify what you have found out through skimming the rest of the text.
Precisely, but it's a good starting point.
Yeah, it's a good starting point.
And then obviously for our writer's opinion style question, it's a bit similar to the main idea and main theme, but obviously you might be looking for more subjective language, something that expresses an idea or an opinion of the writer that can either be directly quoted or it might be referenced somewhere. So I would say the best place to look for that would often be in the conclusion.
Right.
At the end, when often you actually find a writer will obviously, they weigh up their evidence and then they give their opinion on what that means at the very end. So look at the conclusion for that question. But once again, you still need to look throughout the entire text for opinions that might be littered throughout.
Yes. And of course, it's not often directly said. It's not like, in my opinion.
No, that'd be too easy.
You need to look for these words that allude, that they give some reason why the writer has shown a particular slant, on what he thinks about.
Stance, yeah. If they just said, "This is my opinion, now please read this and get your answer," that would be far too. That would be nice, but far too easy, unfortunately. So don't expect that. Look for different language that suggests an opinion.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so are there any other questions you would like to discuss in relation to that?
I guess maybe we could wrap it up now. A few things that some students could do in order to obviously make their whole process more efficient and hopefully get as many marks as possible in this process.
Yes.
So as we said, I think time management is pretty key for this task.
Definitely. So it would be easy to spend a lot of time trying to make sure that every answer is, either incorrect or correct. But, you have to really try and do this within the time that you have and simply go with it and move on.
Yes.
And trust yourself,
Remember,
trust your reading skills.
Yes, exactly. Remember that it's also very important that you are aware that the PTE software will not automatically move on to the next question. You don't have 2 minutes and then stop, go. You have to manually do this in your own time. So make sure that you are aware of the time and that when the 2 minutes is up, you have selected that answer and then click next and moved on to the next question. Remember, nothing to lose, so you may as well answer something.
Well, that's it. Don't forget that with multiple choice single answer. Don't move on without selecting something for this. You might as well guess.
And also, well, of course, this is quite general. It applies to every PTE task, but we'll just restate it again. That is, do as much reading in your own time for this task.
Yeah, definitely. So, it's just your ability to really read and understand the meaning conveyed in a text and your ability to pull out different information from that text and support certain other sentences or answers from reading within that text.
Exactly. And it's also very important as well that you do obviously develop your own knowledge of an academic subject or a particular subject that you might have to obviously do a reading piece on. You build up that vocabulary and you build up that knowledge of synonyms, paraphrasing, etc. You more than likely will come across some words you are unsure of. The important thing is that you do not panic. What you should do is derive meaning for those individual words via the context of the sentence. But it's obviously a good idea for you to improve that knowledge to make that process easier.
Build up your bank of vocabulary. Any reading that you do, take down a note of any words that you're unfamiliar with, look up their definition, write it down, and then you can, when you're getting into bed at night, read over those words again, and then they'll be fresh in your brain in the morning.
Is that what you do when you read?
Yes, take down different vocabulary words and really build up your bank of vocabulary. I think that's a really good way to do it.
Yeah, precisely. And also you can obviously you can make your own PTE style prompts for this very easily. You can read any text and go, okay, what's the main theme of this text? What's the writer trying to say? And then derive your own meaning from that.
Or even write a sentence yourself to summarize the text, and then that would be really useful for you when it comes to other tasks where you have to write a summary of different texts.
Are you struggling with your PTE exam preparation? Are you unsure how to get that score of 65, 79, or even 90? Let us help you get there. Please go to pte.swooshenglish.com and enter discount code PTE10 in order to receive 10% discount on any course.